This show is sponsored by MidasResources.com, your trusted source for precious metals since 1996. Call Midas today at 1-800-686-2237.
Good morning, friends. Greetings and welcome to The Bright Side, your nutritional program dedicated to the understanding of the vast world of nutrition and nutritional supplementation. I'm your host, Pharmacist Ben, nutritional pharmacist from Boulder, Colorado. I specialize in using nutritional supplements where other healthcare practitioners use toxic pharmaceutical drugs and deadly medical procedures. If you suspect that there are natural nutritional roads to your health and vitality and well-being, and to addressing your health challenges, whatever they may be, but you don't know where to begin, you have come to the right place. As you listen to The Bright Side every day, you are more and more in control of your body. You are more and more knowledgeable, and you know you can overcome any health issue. That is why we are here every day on The Bright Side, helping clear up the sometimes confusing world of nutrition and nutritional supplementation. Over the last 28 years of practicing pharmacy, I have seen drug-free recoveries from diabetes and hypertension and obesity and skin diseases like acne, psoriasis, eczema, rosacea, digestive ailments, autoimmune issues of all kinds. Recoveries that by the standards of modern medicine can only be called a miracle. But what is in the world of the body, what is in the world of biology, standard operating procedure. Because the human biological system is a healing system, it's a regenerating system. It is designed divinely to heal and renew itself on a moment-to-moment basis. And while some folks may call that healing, renewing, regenerating system a miracle, it really is just the way the body works. If you have questions about health, nutrition, prescription drugs, if you want to get off your meds and get on a good nutritional supplement program, we can help you do that. We welcome your calls on The Bright Side. Our number is 855-660-4261. If you're dealing with a health challenge, you just don't know what to do, you're sick of taking drugs, you know the drugs aren't working, you're sick of going to the doctor, you know the doctor's not helping you, you're sick of dealing with insurance companies, you want to get better, we can help you do it. 855-660-4261 is your number, and if you have a success story, we love hearing success stories, or if you just want to contribute to the conversation, 855-660-4261 is our number on The Bright Side. If you want to purchase any of the longevity products that you hear us talk about, or if you want to start yourself a longevity business and earn some thank you checks, help spread the word about the power and importance of a good nutritional supplement program, help a friend, help a loved one, help a workmate get off their drugs, get on a good nutritional supplement program, call the Bright Side Ben phone team. For a one-time $10 fee, you can start a longevity business. 866-735-2470 is their number. They're friendly and knowledgeable. They know all about the products. They know all about the business. Some of them are making a bunch of money selling the longevity products, using the longevity products, showing folks the longevity products, including the Beyond Tangy Tangerine and the Biolumin Nightly Essence, now the Beyond Organic products from Jordan Rubin. They're all up at my website, by the way, too, at brightsideben.com. You'll also find a Join the Team link that you can click on. If you don't want to call the Bright Side Ben phone team, click on the Join the Team link or pull down on the shopping cart and purchase any of the products that you like or that you hear us advertise or recommend on the program. It's all up at brightsideben.com. Also, I want to encourage you to check out my blog, pharmacistben.com, which we update regularly with news stories as well as blog posts. Thank you to Robert Lundgren, who does such a fine job keeping that pharmacistben.com website up to date. Thank you, Robert. I appreciate your work. All right, we're going to talk to Ori Hofmeckler, the author of The Warrior Diet, in the bottom of the hour. The Warrior Diet is one of my all-time favorites. That was the second edition. I read the first edition probably 8 or 9 years ago. And Ori's work is just spectacular. This is, if you have to get one book about nutrition and diet, this is the book to get. It's called The Warrior Diet, and everything he talks about is just right on, absolutely right on. I'm very excited to talk to Ori. We talked to him a few years ago. I think it was on the Bright Side. On one of the programs I was doing, I forgot which program it was, we talked to Ori. He also has another book called The Anti-Estrogenic Diet. He's got a lot of interesting things to say about estrogen in foods. He's got great stuff to say about fermented foods, about intermittent fasting, about being a warrior, because that's what it's really all about when we talk about health and nutrition and recovery and regeneration and accessing the body's healing systems, healing mechanisms. What we're talking about is being a warrior. You know, life has its ups and downs. There's all kinds of health challenges that we deal with, from our corrupted food supply or adulterated water, drugs in the water, chemicals in the air, chemtrails. It does us no good to just whine and moan about the problems. What we want to do is we want to learn to be warriors. We want to learn to be tough. We want to learn to be resilient. We want to learn to be able to handle the ups and downs. We want to learn how to be able to handle the toxicity, and that's what it means to be a warrior, and that's what Ori talks about in his book, The Warrior Diet, subtitled Switch On. Check this out, guys. Switch on your biological powerhouse. That's the body. For high energy, explosive strength, and a leaner, harder body. We'll talk to Ori at the bottom of the hour. We'll take your phone calls in our next segment. So if you have questions or comments, or if you want to help yourself get off your medications and get on a good nutritional supplement program, we'll get your calls here in our second segment, and then we'll talk to Ori in the bottom of the hour. Okay, so last we spoke, we were graphically addressing the details of long-term chronic breakdown in the body, of long-term chronic defensive response, defensive chemistry, the response, the defensive chemistry response in the body, the cellular version, the biological version of blood and guts and gore. That's what happens when you have a long-term defensive response in the body. This is what degenerative disease ultimately arises from. All degenerative disease, all, capital A-L-L, all degenerative disease ultimately resides from this overburdened defense system, an overburdened defense system that leads to an exaggerated long-term chronic defensive response. And this long-term chronic defensive response shows up as the cellular version of Gettysburg, the cellular version of a Civil War battle, or Normandy, or World War II battle, or a World War I battle. It's blood and guts and carnage at the cellular level. At the cellular level, we've got an immune system, or a defensive system, that is like a high-tech science fiction system that deserves our greatest awe and appreciation and honor and respect. And unfortunately, because it's microscopic, we don't think of it that way. It just kind of goes over our heads. This defensive response, this long-term chronic defensive response, ultimately creates pockets and barriers and walls and dead cells and toxic debris. And it's very important that we picture this in our head. Folks, there's not a drug on planet Earth that can help you here. In fact, drugs are just going to make it worse. And there's not a surgical procedure that can help us here. You can't take your gallbladder out and eliminate this defensive response. You can't take your thyroid out and eliminate this kind of response in the body. It's just going to make matters worse. When the immune system is activated against poisons, it enlists this high-tech science fiction weaponry that is just mind-blowing. And the end result is blood and guts and cellular corpses. And keep in mind, this is all happening in tissues that are aligned with electrical energy, aligned with nerves. So you get this toxic debris, and then you've got nerves that are kind of lining the tissues, and the toxic debris is scattered about the same areas that these electrical nerves are. Body's got 4 types of tissue it's made up of, 4 types of stuff that it's made up. It's made up of muscles and connective tissue. That's the bulk of it. That's the meat. That's the steak of us. That's the beef of us. That's the bulk of us. And then this connective tissue and muscle matrix, or beef, has electrical wiring. That's the nerves. And then it's all coated with a candy coating. That's called epithelia. And that's it. The epithelia also composes the glands. So you've got the epithelia, that's the coating. You got the electrical wiring, that's the nerves. And then you got the connective tissue and the muscle tissue, that's the bulk. That's the body. That's it, in a nutshell. When these connective tissue and the matrix, the beef, the connective tissue and the muscle tissue becomes toxic, and these little pockets of toxicity, these toxic waste dumps, are scattered throughout the body. And then there's lots of fibers. Remember the fibers and the grout, the kind of walls that are, what am I trying to say here? The secretions that kind of fill in the fibers. You've got these secretions that fill in the fibers, and they form a wall. Eventually, you're going to get irritation in the nerves. Eventually, all of these pockets of fibers and grout that are sequestering the toxic areas, eventually you're going to get irritation of the electrical wiring, the nerves. The nerve irritation is going to be perceived as pain. And because the pain is in the muscles, and because it involves fibers, you're going to go to the doctor and you're going to tell him, "Oh, doc, my muscles really hurt. It's all my muscles. I can't figure out what it is." And the doctor will go, "Oh, you got muscle fiber. You have fibromyalgia." which is, of course, the Latin term for muscle fiber pain. And then you're going to get a $200 bill, and then maybe, if you're lucky, you'll get a prescription for Prozac or for a Percocet or for some kind of pain pill. So you go to the doctor, you tell him you got muscle fiber pain, and he turns around and tells you, oh, you have fibromyalgia. So he names your muscle fiber pain in Latin, gives you a bill, and then gives you a prescription. What the heck? What is this about? Of course your doctor can't help you if you have muscle fiber pain that's secondary to toxicity. Hang tight, I'll finish up when we come back tomorrow.
Hi, I'm Dr. Joel Wallach, the Dead Doctors Don't Lie guy. There's no reason why you shouldn't live to be at least 100 and have a great time getting there. And I'm going to give you a free copy of my lecture that tells you exactly how to do it. In fact, after you've lived a long and healthy life, there should be only 2 documents in your medical chart, a birth certificate and a death certificate. I'm Dr. Wallach with a warning. If you have a 4-inch medical chart, if you take prescription drugs for high cholesterol, high blood pressure, arthritis, joint pains, and other health issues, the medical profession is failing you. They're using you for an ATM machine. My free lecture is going to reveal what pharmaceutical companies don't want you to know. There's been groundbreaking research and discoveries on how to effectively treat or eliminate over 900 different diseases naturally. And it's all in my free lecture called Deadly Recipe. So call toll-free 1-855-79-YOUNG. Again, that's toll-free 1-855-79-YOUNG. 1-855-79-YOUNG.
Hi, John Hubner from Midas Resources. Are you tired of watching your hard-earned assets dwindle away? As government spending is out of hand and the Federal Reserve is creating in excess of $20 billion a week, are you tired of stockbrokers gambling away your hard-earned money? Is this market a setup for a crash greater than 1987? Too many of today's policies resemble those that led to the collapse of 1929. This is John Hubner, and that was me in 2007. And we all know what happened when the subprime credit bubble burst. By March 2009, the dollar lost 50% of its value. The entire U.S. banking system was on the verge of collapsing. Like all financial problems of the past, is history about to repeat itself? Call me, John Hubner, at 1-800-686-2237, extension 129, before it's too late to protect yourself. Will the oncoming catastrophe take all private IRAs, 401ks with it? There is a way to protect your hard-earned assets. Call me, John Hubner, at 1-800-686-2237, extension 129.
For over 5 years, you've been hearing about the Berkey Guy, so you may know a few things about him. For example, you are well aware of the superior quality and effectiveness of Berkey water filters and accessories. But did you know the Berkeys have had independent lab tests done to prove just how effective they are? It's true, and he can email you the test results. Just visit GoBerkey.com. You may also know that the Berkey Guy has helped tens of thousands of people get better prepared. Now here's something you may not know. GoBerkey.com has amazing specials and deals all the time on a wide variety of survival and preparedness products. Most ready to ship same day. Visit the Berkey Guy at GoBerkey.com and be sure to click the red Products on Sale Now button. You can always call toll-free 877-886-3653. Again, that's 877-886-3653. GoBerkey.com, home of the Berkey Guy.
Moms of America, stand up and stop taking abuse from your kids.
I pledge never to let my kid disrespect me ever again.
I pledge to stop letting my daughter walk all over me.
I pledge to stop living in fear of my son's anger.
I pledge never to feel like a bad parent ever again. Because I'm not.
I pledge to stop letting my child's behavior control my home.
I pledge to be a mom with kids who listen, a total transformation mom.
I'm Janet Lehman, co-creator of the Total Transformation Program. We created the Total Transformation to help parents with difficult child behavior. Now I'm giving it away free. All you need to do is get the program and let us know how it works for you. We'll let you keep it for free.
Call 1-800-256-7795. That's 1-800-256-7795. Call now. Call 1-800-256-7795. That's 1-800-256-7795. Independently leading the way for the nation. Compelling talk for every political persuasion. We are GCN.
on the bright side, I am Pharmacist Ben. 866-4261 is our call-in number. We're going to talk to Ori Hofmeckler about his book, The Warrior Diet, in the bottom of the hour. So if you've got phone calls or if you've got questions, we'll take your phone calls here in this segment. I want to just say a couple more things. We'll finish up on fibromyalgia and tell you